Hello everyone, I'm Luke here, back again with another Awaken Chaos Era video. So in today's video, I'll be creating a guide on how to farm the Roaring Tulpa as an early game player. And as you can see here, I'm level 35. And the prerequisite to start farming in the Roaring Tulpa is you need to build your 4 core team heroes. And as you can see here, these are my 5 team heroes. I have Zachary, who is an epic hero that you can obtain by completing the adventure storyline. Then I have Hitoshi here. Basically, you can get him from the rookie event. Celine as well as Connor. Both of these elite heroes, you can obtain them from the adventure storyline as well. For Joseph, I obtained him through the summoning crystals, the blue summoning crystals rather than the yellow one. And for Valuk, I obtained him by farming the chapter 8 of Heart, where all of those stages drops Valuk. So you can farm him there as well once you're farming the glyph. So the prerequisite to farm the Roaring Tulpa is you need to have your heroes, at least your primary damage dealers as level 60. Like for me, I'll be using Zachary as well as Hitoshi as my primary damage dealer for the Roaring Tulpa. And then I have Connor as my support hero. Support hero, you do not need them to be level 60 early on. You can leave them at level 50 as long as you provide them with sufficient health as well as the defense stats. And also to make sure that they will go first before your damage dealers, so they can buff them up before they perform the attacks. And then I have a supporter damage dealer who is Valuk. Basically, Valuk is there not as a direct damage dealer, but she's there to apply poison. So once you achieve this prerequisite, just just get their levels to level 60 and also get sufficient glyph. For me, I've already close to max out their glyph at level 5. And also get them decently well. As you can see here, I have a mixed set of gears like Warrior Set, Raider Set, and Rage Set. And most importantly, make sure all of your damage dealers have close to 100% critical rate, and then boost up attack stats as well as the critical damage, and then some speed. So I'll go more in detail on the build side, but let's head over to the Roaring Tulpa. So the build that I'm showing you today, right, is to start farming at stage 8 directly rather than starting on like stage 6 or stage 7. The reason why we start at stage 8 at the get-go, right, is because this is the place where it starts dropping 5-star gears. And if you compare stage 8 with stage 7, stage 7 drops 4-star gear, then goes with stage 6, and stage 5 is 3 to 4, stage 4 is 3 to 4 as well, stage 3 is 3-star, stage 2 is 2 and 3, and stage 1 is 2-star. So the stages below stage 8, right, they drop 4 stars gears and below, which will not help you to improve your hero's damage output as well as their tankiness. So I highly recommend you to just focus on the early game side, get all your level 60 heroes level 60 for your damage dealers, and then get your level 50 heroes for your supporter heroes. Alright, so for this stage 8, let me show you the team that I'll be using to showcase this Roaring Tulpa guide. So as you can see here, I have Connor as my primary attack up booster as well as my healer. Then I have 2 damage dealers here who are Hitoshi as well as Zachary. Then I have a support damage dealer here who is Valuk. So Valuk is there to apply poison because as the difficulty goes up, right, maybe like stage 9, 10, 11, 12, right, the enemy's health will be increasing more and more. So poison will deal damage based on their max health. So you will not see that much damage improvement at the lower stages, but this will help you prepare for the higher stages. And for the spells, I'll be using Sundering Purgatory to apply the defense down, as well as Gaia's Renewal for supplementary healing. Sundering Purgatory allows your heroes to do more damage to the mobs of enemies. But this one, as a prerequisite to use this one, you need to make sure that your supporter hero that goes first in the battle, make sure he has sufficient focus stats. Alright, without further ado, let's see this team in action. So at the start of the battle, I've disabled Valuk's ability, so he'll only apply the poison through his basic ability. So I've speed tuned Connor to go first to apply the attack up buff as well as the shield, and also apply the Sundering Purgatory spell. And then I have Zachary as well as Hitoshi to deal damage to the enemies. And for the targeting, the boss battle attack sequence, I target the elite on the right because he'll be able to apply the attack up buff to the boss that increase his counter attack damage significantly. Then once you clear the elite on the right, then target the boss. So basically, Roaring Tulpa is one of the easiest boss to tackle as an early game player, because the boss does not have much difficult mechanics. The only thing you need to be wary about is his shield. He will place his shield around him after for some time. And the shield is basically the floating stone around him. And it will start with the blue stones, followed by yellow and then red. And if you do not defeat the boss within that time frame where he summons his blue floating rock around him, then he'll be able to deal AoE true damage that can instantly wipe out your entire team, regardless of how much HP or defense they have. Alright, so the boss is almost down, and Zachary has finished him off. So let's see the battle results. How long does this battle take? So this battle took around about 1 minute and 34 seconds. So this is a very fast team that you can use to speed farm as an early game player to get those gear sets, which are Vanguard Set, Terra Set, and also the Rage Set. So these are the sets that are dropped. So Terra Set provides 15% health, Vanguard Set is provide defense, and Rage Set provides critical rate. So you want to get this Rage Set for your damage dealers to improve their critical rate so that they can reach close to the 100% critical rate. So this makes your damage dealer to do consistent damage throughout the battle. For the Terra Set and the Vanguard Set, right, these are mainly used for supported heroes, like those heroes that those heroes that can apply healing, and the healing will be based on their max health. So this one will be very useful for them. Alright, so let's do a quick overview of what are the boss abilities. So as you can see here, this Roaring Tulpa is level 75 on the stage 8. So his first ability is known as Fissure. This grants 1 Tulpic Fervor stack when under 50% health at the start of each round. If this character has 4 stacks of Tulpic Fervor at the start of the turn, launches a bonus attack with Fissure dealing true damage to all enemies. So this is the one that deals high amount of damage. You do not want to prolong the battle too long until he has 4 stacks of this Tulpic Fervor. This Tulpic Fervor is represented with the floating stone that encircles around him. Then the next ability he has is the Countering Blow, counter attacks every 6 enemy attacks. This one is the one that allows him to counter attack whenever your heroes attack him. So if you bring multi-hitters like Jacob or so forth, this will increase his counter meter very quickly, so you want to prevent that. Unless you can mitigate the issue by having a supported hero that can tank that damage for those squishy heroes. And then we have the third ability, which is the Armor Breaker, deals damage to an enemy and applies defense down for 2 turns. So basically this one is quite dangerous, as it can lower your hero's defense, and then these enemies will be able to do more damage to them. And then we have the fourth ability here, the Hulking Fist, deals damage to an enemy and damage scales with this character's defense. So the more defense that the boss has, then you'll deal much more damage. And finally, for the fifth ability, which is the Apocalypse, launches an attack on all enemies, ignoring 50% of the target defense, applies defense down to targets for 2 turns. So this one is also quite dangerous, especially for those squishy heroes. And do take note that these abilities will change based on the difficulty of this Roaring Tulpa. So at the higher stages, right, it'll be much more difficult. If you see on all these stages, the description will change. Like as you can see here, this one will be 6 stacks. Then the boss will have additional passive ability that deals true damage and so forth. I'll deep dive on this Roaring Tulpa if once we progress in more advanced. I think I'll cover this in a more advanced Roaring Tulpa guide. But for now, we are just covering the free-to-play version of this boss. I mean, not free-to-play, but the early stages of this Roaring Tulpa boss. Alright, and also you can check out the other players' team formation by clicking these books. So you can see what heroes they use. So primarily they use Hitoshi, Aura you can get it from the event shop. Then we have Zachary as well as Connor. So let's say assuming that you are not able to obtain sufficient event points to purchase aura from the event shop, then you can use other heroes like Valuk to apply the poison. And then you can see other players, they use Aaron. He's from the Attack on the Titan collaboration event. And then there are other players who uses Bella. Bella is the hero that you can synthesize through the altar. So these are some of the examples of heroes that you can get some ideas on how to build a team. But I think as an early game player, you may not have all of these heroes. So the heroes that I'm showing you today is the one that you can get and form it on your account easily. Alright, so let's quickly go through the gears and stats on how I build these heroes. Alright, so let's start off with Connor. This is the hero that goes first in the team. So this is his overall stats. He has 1,732 attack, 8,378 health, 900 defense, 145 speed. He's speed 2 to go first. Then he has 28% focus. So as a supporter hero, you need to prioritize on the health, some defense, speed. The most important is speed to let him go first. Then focus to apply the defense down. And also you need to also check on the skills. Basically, right, Connor's healing ability skills based on his attack stats. So as you can see here, like his ultimate ability, Imprecatory Prayer, which has a 5-turn skill cooldown, healing skills with this hero's attack. And same goes with his special ability, Berserker Banner, shield strength skills with this hero's attack as well. So you need to also consider building him with attack stats in order to improve his healing capabilities. Because this one is not based on his health, but more towards on his attack stats. Alright, so let me show you the gear. So the gear I have here is a Raider set that provides a 15 speed, and Fate set, which is a 4-piece set that converts 50% of the healing amount into shield for 2 turns. So basically his ultimate ability will be able to heal as well as generating the shield. Fate set, you can obtain it from the Wish of the Wind, and I will create another guide on how to use how to farm Fate set from Wish of the Wind as an early game player using the same heroes. Alright, so let's quickly go through the gears here to see the stats. So this is the weapon. This one provides some speed, attack, and defense. Ideally, this one should be a defense percentage. You do not want any flat stats like HP, defense, or attack because those stats does not scale once you improve your hero stats. Next is the helmet. We have some focus, double roll focus, which is quite good. But the bad thing is the additional rolls does not go into the attack percentage. Those rolls go into the defense as well as the flat stats attack. And then we have the rope here. This is one of the best rope I have, which provides health, defense, and some resistance. Ideally, this resistance should be focus stats. And then we have the attack boots. I gave him in an attack boost is to boost up his healing as well as his shield. So this attack boost has some focus, resistance, and critical damage. This is built very low critical rate. Critical damage is not useful for him. Same goes with this flat stats defense. And then we have the Raider Ring with some health percentage. This one has a double flat stats attack. Ideally, this one should be attack percentage, then it will be quite good. And some critical rate and critical damage. And finally, we have the attack necklace that has very bad rolls, 2 flat stats defense and agility. I use this one is because of the attack percentage here. So I will replace this as soon as I get better gears that provide HP percentage, defense percentage, and focus and speed. For his glyph is not maxed out until it's only completed glyph level 3. So by improving his glyph, right, this will make him much more tanky with more defense stats, like as you can see here, the ancestral one, as well as boosting his speed, as well as his attack stats. So this one will be much more valuable as he progresses even further in the Roaring Tulpa, maybe like stage 10 to 12. His abilities are all maxed out, and I did not invest any mastery books on him, which is not necessary at the moment. And currently he's on the 5th ascension. To benefit from this trait, attack is increased from 10% to 20%. Alright, so that's basically it for Connor, my supporter hero. Let's move on to my damage dealers. So Zachary is the second hero that goes in the team. Here are his overall stats. He has around about 3,170 attack, close to 10,000 health, 940 defense, 139 speed, 100% critical rate, 178% critical damage, and 6% focus. So as a damage dealer, you want to prioritize on the critical rate, followed by the attack and critical damage, and also speed tune him based on your team. So for me, I speed tune him to go second in the team, which is at 139 speed. And for his gears, I'm currently gearing him in a Warrior Set that provides 15% attack, Raider Set for additional 15 speed, and Wrist Set for 12% critical rate. Let's go through the equipment stats here. So some of this equipment I just got them from farming the adventure mythic as well as the previous adventure mode, like a normal adventure, art mode, adventure as well as mythic. So this is the weapon with some double roll on critical rate, speed, health, and attack. This one will be the rich helmet, which has critical rate, health, and resistance. This is the armor with a critical damage, focus, critical rate, and plus attack. Ideally, this one should be attack percentage. This is attack percentage boots with some speed, defense, and health, which are not that great. Ideally, this one should be health percentage and defense percentage. Then we have the critical rate ring with some speed, health, and defense. And finally, we have the attack necklace with double roll and flash health, critical rate, and critical damage. These glyphs are not maxed out yet. There's one more here, but this one provides resistance, which is not useful, but you can max this out to get the additional 2% health. His abilities are all maxed out. His masteries are not invested. There's no mastery books invested here. And he only has one ascension. You can get this extra Zachary from the, I think from the promo code. You can check out my website to get this extra Zachary. And by getting the second ascension, you unlock this trait that further increases the damage dealt from 50% to 80%. Alright, so that's basically it for my Zachary. Let's move on to my third damage dealer, who is Hitoshi. So this is my Hitoshi. Here are his overall stats. He has around about 2,734 attack, 10,000 health, 928 defense, 129 speed. He's speed to go third. He has over 70% critical rate. You do not need to build him with 100% critical rate because he has this unique trait that provides him with a 30% critical rate, which is not reflected in his overall stats here. And then he has around about 226% critical damage and 38.5% focus. You do not need to focus on him. It's not necessary. Let's quickly go through the gears. So currently I'm gearing him in a average set as well as a rage set. This average set is obtained by completing the adventure side quest, and rage set is obtained from the adventure as well. And also some of them is obtained through the path of growth if you complete some of the quests there. So let's quickly go through the gears here. So this is the weapon with critical damage, attack, and focus. Once you meet the 70% critical rate requirement, then you can focus on putting more on the critical damage as well as attack percentage. And this is the helmet with some precision, attack, critical damage, and critical rate. This is the armor with quadruple focus. This one ideally should be critical damage or attack percentage. And then this is a speed boots with some critical rate, critical damage, and flash health. This is a critical rate ring with some speed, attack, and focus. And finally, we have the attack necklace with some critical rate, critical damage, resistance, and defense. Resistance is not useful for him. Ideally, this one should be speed, and this one should be HP percentage. His glyph is not maxed out yet. The only thing left out is the critical rate, but this one is not necessary unless you already meet the 70% requirement. You can get this later on and then substitute the gears with the critical rate with a critical damage and attack percentage for more damage output. And this one would be the Shadow Blade glyph for more speed, and this one would be resistance and health. Its abilities are all maxed out. So let's quickly go through the mastery. So I have obtained 4 epic mastery books from the event. I think from the Dragon Cup Rally event for early gamers. I think every new players will get them, as well as you can get them from the rookie event as well. So I just dumped all of the epic mastery books on him, and one of it goes into this critical damage up that improves his critical damage by 20%, and 3 of them landed inside the gear mastery effect. He doesn't have any ascension, but getting to his second ascension here will allow him to stack more attack stats once he kills each enemy. So as you can see here, right, once he's ascended to second ascension, he will gain 1 stack per enemy kill, and it will cap at 5 stacks. So I think it doesn't show the attack up. I think it's basically increase his attack by 10%, is it? Whether 5% or 10% per stack. Once you have this second ascension, you'll be able to farm the XP Jelly Madness without Joseph. For now, for this current state, you'll need to gear him. I mean, you need to pair him with Joseph if you want to farm there. Alright, so that's basically it for Hitoshi build. Let's move on to the last hero in the team, who is Valuk. Alright, so this is my last hero in the team, who is Valuk. Here are his total stats. He has around about 11,858 health, 128 speed, 35% focus, and the rest are not necessary. You need to build him as tanky as possible with some health, defense, and some focus. You do not need to prioritize on the speed, but having speed will be beneficial. And here are his gears. Basically, he's geared in a Terra Set as well as Raider Set. Terra Set provides a 50% health, Raider Set provides additional speed. Let's quickly go through the equipments to check out the substats here. So this is the weapon that has some flat stats health. Ideally, this one should be health percentage. Here I have some focus, precision, and speed. This is the helmet with some focus, critical rate, and health percentage. And this is the armor with some double roll and defense percentage, which is quite good. Focus percentage. And this one is critical rate. Ideally, this one should be health percentage. And then we have the health boots with not great substats. Ideally, this one should be either speed, focus, or defense percentage. And we have the defense ring. Resistance is not useful for him because it's there to apply poison, not to resist enemy debuff. But this one would be good to have. And finally, we have the flat stats health necklace. Ideally, this one should be health percentage. So overall, this is my leftover items that I use on Valuk. And for his glyphs, I have not maxed them out. It's currently still at glyph level 4. His abilities are all maxed out here. He doesn't have any elite mastery books invested in him, and it's not necessary because some of his masteries doesn't really make sense to having True Strike in PvP mode. I think the Ace developers will need to change this one to make it more useful for PvE. He's mainly used for PvE content. But this one will be very, very useful to get the 30% focus. And currently he's fully ascended. His second ascension is needed to ensure that he has a 100% chance to counter attack with the accuracy down. Accuracy down allows your heroes to dodge the enemy's attack. So if you have not ascended Valuk, it will be a 50% chance. And ascending him to second ascension will guarantee the counter attack. Alright, so to recap on my hero build, I have Connor, Zachary, Hitoshi, and Valuk. Connor will go first, followed by Zachary, Hitoshi, and Valuk. Connor is geared in a Fate Set as well as a Raider Set. Fate Set basically allows him to generate a shield upon healing his allies, and the shield is based on 50% of his healing. In case you are not able to farm those Fate Sets from the Wish of the Wind, you can change them with either a Warrior Set, Raider Set, or a Terra Set, depending on what gears you have on your account. And the stats to prioritize for Connor will be attack stats, health, defense, speed, and focus. You need speed to go first, and then focus stat to apply the defense down, and then attack stats to improve his healing, and some health and defense stats for him to survive in case he's targeted by the boss. Because usually the enemies will target the enemies with the highest health. And then I have Zachary as well as Hitoshi. These two are my primary direct damage dealers, and for these damage dealers, you just need to get them to 100% critical rate. For Hitoshi, he's a special case where he gains 30% additional critical rate from his trait, so you do not need to build him with 100% critical rate. You only need to get him at least 70% critical rate at most. And then after you obtain the sufficient critical rate, you can boost up their attack stats as well as their critical damage stats. And also get them some speed. to allow them to go before the enemies. Alright, so for Valuk, you just need to build him with focus stats, health and defense, because he's... Alright, so for the final hero here who is Valuk, he's my supporter damage dealer. You can replace him with any other heroes that you have on your account, such as Garrel, if you are lucky to get him from the Garrel banner, or if you can replace Valuk with Aura, you can purchase Aura from the event shop if you manage to get sufficient event points from the Dragon Cup rally or any other events that rewards those event points. For Valuk, in order to get him, you need to farm him from the Adventure Chapter 8, either Mythic, Hard or Normal difficulty. Valuk deals damage based from his poison debuff, and in order for him to place those poisons, he needs focus stats, otherwise the enemies will resist them. So provide him with sufficient focus and then distribute those points into health and defense to make him tanky, because he's a neutral affinity hero there. And the enemies will target neutral affinity first, followed by the strong affinity. They will always go in the sequence like weak affinity like water, followed by wood, and then fire for the Roaring Tulpa. Most of my auto battle for 10 runs, as you can see here, the total duration to complete these 10 runs is 15 minutes, and each battle takes around about 1 minute and 30 seconds. So as you can see here from the battle loot, you can see I got some epic gears which are 5-star and also some 4-star gears. For your account to progress even further, you will not need to keep any 4-star gears. You just keep the 5-star gears and above. You can keep either the rare one or the epic one represented with the purple background or the blue background. You do not need to keep any 4-star gears unless they have really good substats. Alright, so that's the end of my video covering how to farm the Roaring Tulpa as an early game player using heroes that you can obtain by just playing this game by completing the adventure storyline, as well as summoning those heroes from the summoning crystal or farming those heroes from the adventure hard mode. If you have any questions, do let me know down in the comments below. And if you found this video helpful, do give this video a thumbs up. And if you're new to this channel, you can click on the subscribe button as well as ring the notification bell to stay up to date whenever I upload a new video on the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!